Te salut cu drag, Griggs Lampareț aici și Blues LIPTON. Haideți să vedem ce se întâmplă dacă
By changing the environment, I change the expression of the cell. Well, what's the point? I'm the one that can change the environment. I am the master of my genetics. I am not the victim of my genes. I'm the one that can change the environment, and more importantly, my perception of the environment. And that is what controls the fate of the cells.
So your perception about the environment controls the activity of the cell.
The nature of biology is simple. Biological organisms adapt their biology to fit into an environment. So a cell reads an environment and then adjusts its genetics and its activity to conform to the environment. Now we have a problem, and that is this. Let's say I'm looking at the activity of my liver cells in the body. And I say, well, my liver cells should be adjusting to what's going on in the environment. And I say, well, how does a liver cell know what's going on in the environment? And the answer is this. The liver cell is not touching the environment. It depends on the nervous system to send information about the environment inside the body so the cells adjust their biology to match what's going on in the world. Well, we only have one problem in that, and that is this. Consciousness is an interpretation. So my mind is interpreting the environment and then sending not the real information about the environment, but my interpretation of the environment. What's relevant? Well, I could live in a perfectly healthy, happy environment that will support me. But if I perceive it's a negative environment, then my cells inside my body do not know that it is a healthy environment. They only see the perception that I send to them. And this is why perception becomes so important, because the cells are not directly touching the environment and depend on the nervous system's interpretation to adjust their biology. So if I change my perception, my mind, change my belief about life, I change the signals that are going in and adjusting the function of the cell. The point is very, very significant, and that is this. I'm not a victim of my genes because I, by my ability to change my environment and by my ability to change my perception of the environment, have the ability to control my genetic activity. I'm not a victim of my heredity. I'm a master of my genetic activity.
So how do we change our perception of the environment?
In understanding how we deal with the environment and deal with perception, the most important fact that we have to bring up at this point is that there's a mind between the environment and my cells. And when I say the mind, everyone thinks of a single entity, the mind. I go, well, not actually true. For this reason, the mind is comprised of two interdependent elements that work together. And they have different functions, and they learn in different ways. It is our unawareness of that that is creating the problem. Because when we talk about the mind, we think there's this one thing. I say, no, there are two minds with different perceptions and different beliefs and attitudes about life. And that's the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The difference is profound. The conscious mind, the latest evolution of the brain, is the creative mind. I say, tell me what you want from your life. Creativity is the response of the conscious mind. That's the one that can see into the future. And so that's really what makes humans so much more powerful than lower organisms, because the creative conscious mind allows us not to have just stimulus response like lower animals. Between the stimulus and the response, I have creativity. I can change any way I respond to life. I am the master of that. So it's the creative mind that has helped us get into the world that we have today. And I say, well, what's the other mind? I say, the subconscious mind. I say, that's a record playback mind. It's basically a habit mind. I learn a behavior, and once it's in there, I push the button, and every time I push the button, the behavior will play. If it's a good behavior or bad behavior, that's irrelevant. It will always play the same behavior. So, when I look at the world, I can look at it through my conscious mind and employ wishes and desires to say, this is what I want from my life. Or, as most of us are doing it unknowingly so, when we look at the world, we're actually operating through the subconscious mind, the programs of how to interpret life and how to respond to life. And why is this relevant? And the answer is this. The programs in the subconscious mind primarily came from downloading other people's behaviors. Your mother, your father, your siblings, your community, in the first 7 years of life, you were downloading behavior by observing other people. And therefore, the fundamental behavioral responses in your subconscious mind are not your wishes and desires. They're actually just copies of other people's behavior. And the problem is then if I'm operating from my conscious mind, I'm controlling my life in the way I want to do it. But when I'm operating from the subconscious mind, I'm an automatic behavior, but playing programs that I acquired from other people, which do not necessarily benefit me. And then the last important aspect is this. You might say, well, then why would I run from the subconscious mind? I could just use my conscious mind. I go, it's a very good idea except for this problem. When we are thinking, the conscious mind gets engaged. Simple point. I say, tell me what you're doing Monday at 2 o'clock. If you actually contemplate that, think about it simply this. Where's the answer? It's not out here. It's in here. So the moment I ask myself, what am I doing on Monday at 2 o'clock? My consciousness is directed inwards, a little Rolodex. What's going on? I say, yeah, but the moment I'm thinking, then it means I'm not paying attention. I go, absolutely true. So does it mean when I'm thinking, I stop doing something until my thought's over? So I'm walking down the street, have a thought, stop, thought's finished, now I can go walking again? I go, no, this is the critical part. When the conscious mind is engaged in thinking, the subconscious is the default program, the autopilot. So my conscious mind could be engaged, but my subconscious mind will carry out whatever chore I'm doing, walking, driving the car, communicating with another person. I don't need my conscious mind for that. I already have programs of how to do all those things. So the point is this. When we are thinking, we are not using the conscious mind in controlling our lives, which is the potential personal control. When we are thinking, we default to subconscious programs. And I say, well, here's where the problem comes from. A, the programs that are playing from the subconscious came from other people. B, most of the programs, 70% or so of these programs are negative, disempowering, and self-sabotaging. C, when I'm playing these programs, the reason I'm playing subconscious program is because my conscious mind is engaged in thought 95% of the day. I go, relevance? If the conscious mind is engaged in thought and I'm playing a subconscious program, then I am the one that does not observe my own behavior. Why? Because my observation is inside my head thinking. And so the automatic behavior that's playing is unobserved by myself. That means 95% of the day, we are not operating from the conscious mind's wishes and desires or what we want. 95% of the day, because we're in thought, we're operating from subconscious default. I go, relevance? Well, since most of those programs are negative and disempowering, self-sabotaging, and it's invisible, it says, and every day I get up and I say, today I'm going out for my wishes and desires. I'm going to find love. I'm going to find the best job I can. I'm going to find health. This is my intention, my wish and my desire. And I go, we go out in the morning, full steam. We come home at night, tail between our legs. It didn't happen today. And we look around and go, well, it's not me because I went out with the vision for success. So I'm a victim. My life is not under my control. And I am not successful because of the universe is not helping me. That's the perception. And it turns out, oh my gosh, that's completely wrong. 95% of the day, you were shooting yourself in the foot with bad subconscious programs. And at the end of the day, you look at your bloody foot and go, who did that? And you did it yourself. So what's the new biology? New biology says,
Ești gata să scapi de programele limitative din subconștientul tău? Ești gata să nu mai fii sclavul lor sau mai ales sclavul societății? Pentru toate există o soluție. Este aproape de tine. Totul e să vrei. Totul e să vrei să ai un viitor și un prezent controlat de tine, nu de mintea subconștientă sau de societate. alegerea îți aparține. Iar eu îți stau aproape dacă vrei să vezi cum poți face aceste lucruri. Te îmbrățișez cu drag.